I had a hard time with this one.
Really?
Why?
Well, there are two genres of thrillers that I go out of my way to avoid. The first one is home invasion, and the
Oh, that's my
second one is
favorite. I go
second
toward.
one is the second one is stalker movies. And this movie comes at you for like the first 45 minutes like a fucking stalker movie.
Oh yeah.
So my guard is up, like it's on super stun.
So did this
I'm
stress you
literally, like, watching this movie like with a wall?
Can I say
Yeah.
one thing before
It stressed you the fuck out.
It's
before you
stressed
guys-
me out, not in a good way. Like I really dislike this kind of shit. And so by the time you realize what you're actually watching, I'm so fucking tired.
But this one is smarter than the
No,
average one.
I'm not. Listen, at the end of the day, I think it's really well done. My personal problem with this movie is it comes through the door of a stalker movie, and then what it's really about is shithead Jason Bateman getting his fucking comeuppance.
Well, and before you guys dive in,
Jared.
Before you dive in more, I think most of the world was on this this sort of track at this moment. This was the first time you really saw Bateman not do comedy.
Yeah,
this is before Ozark. This is before
he wasn't
HBO
Pepper Brooks
thing.
in this movie.
This is before, and so I just want to say, and I want to hear you guys all your opinions and everything. But this was the first time I was like, oh,
right.
You kind of work for this kind of more sinister.
Playing the type of shithead he sort of looks
also,
like.
I thought this was one of the bougiest films we've ever seen.
Everybody's
so rich and everyone's so comfortable.
I have the opposite.
Not Joel Edgerton.
Yeah.
I have the opposite reaction to you, Jared, which is I think the biggest problem with this movie is Jason Bateman, because I don't think he's far enough along in his career at this point in time to carry this performance off.
Oh, I couldn't
had
disagree
a hard
more.
time hating him as much as the movie wants me to hate him, because I've got very much I'm still very much invested in Jason Bateman, who I love in like fucking everything.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
I disagree. I think it's a testament to his acting ability.
You're telling me the film's effective then, because you're saying that you're invested in Jason Bateman, and he's like
liking Jason Bateman.
He slowly reveals himself to be a fucking scumbag in this.
And you find out what a bully scumbag is at the end. It's like
I didn't hate him enough because
I didn't hate him enough.
Because
I didn't hate him enough.
No, because
I did not hate him enough.
He's inherently likable.
Well, I don't think the movie wants you to hate him as much. I think that's part of the genius is he is a real person. No one is inherently all evil. No one is.
He's not a real person. That's part of the problem. My biggest problem with this movie is I do not feel, and this is not me taking anything away from Jason Bateman. I think if you made this movie today with him starring in it, I think he would have been much better.
In terms of the problem, you think he wasn't developed enough as an actor?
Yeah, I think the problem is by this point in his career, he had been so pigeonholed into either being a mildly
This is like right after like Arrested Development club.
Right. He'd been pigeonholed into either being a mildly smarmy guy, or he'd been pigeonholed into being
like the straight man,
an affable dumbass.
Right.
And in this movie, when it tries to convince me that he's this sort of like liar mastermind who was able to like,
I don't think he's a mastermind. He's just a scumbag kind of.
Yeah, but he does it again to his wife. And
watch out behind you.
And he does it again to the other dude who's going for his job.
Yeah, McDonald.
That is so poorly explained in this movie. Like that's the biggest problem I have with the
when he
writing.
beats up Edgerton, I didn't buy it. I mean, it's just I don't know.
Oh, I think every performance besides his is fucking fantastic.
Now, let me back up for a second. I want to address what Tad
I think they're all good too. I didn't have a problem with.
I want to address what Tad just said about Bateman not being in this point of his career, kind of like ready to do this kind of heavy role. I think that was the subterfuge of the film, is that he came in, it's like, it's Jason Bateman. This is Arrested Development.
But it doesn't.
We love this guy.
So at that point in his career, we were casting against type.
So we know as we got to the end, it was like the whole drop thing. It was just
I've never
Fred
watched,
McMurray is a bad guy. You know what I'm talking about?
I've never watched Arrested Development, and I love it.
It's so good.
This is one of those things where I'm watching this without a lot of experience towards him.
Right.
And like the things I've seen him in have been more recent stuff. Like Carry On, like
Did anyone watch that show Black Rabbit he did with Jude Law? It's excellent.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to throw out something that
it's good, right, Chris? It's fucking great.
Chris, get your Scott is wrong thing ready because it's kind of controversial. I think, although Edgerton did a fantastic job.
Just put it up now. It doesn't matter what he's going to say.
Fantastic job directing this thing. I think he was, and I think the cast is stacked and wonderful. I think he should not have played that because he is literally too handsome to be in and good looking.
No, he looks dopey enough with the
no, he's
goatee
not.
and the
You
hair.
could have gotten someone like a Steve Buscemi type, or maybe like someone who's really like fucking wounded by life.
No,
Scott is wrong.
I think it's.
No,
actually,
I'm not.
I think it's actually better because you can see where the disconnect is in their lives, which is that Edgerton has everything that Bateman has. In fact, probably more than Bateman has. And if this horrible thing hadn't happened to him, he would have been the one married to her.
Yeah,
he would have been the one who was vice president at this company.
Well, I'll give you the
I just want to
that...
mention, but I think we're I know we'll get there, but we're kind of skipping over the what this movie is really about and what it explores so brilliantly, but in a thriller genre is what you do when you're young can have consequences. This like, bullying is
well, that's what I was going to say, Jared, about this movie is that
man's life.
I feel like this movie starts off with a very familiar plot, which we've seen more than one time.
The bougie family settling in.
And it's kind of the playbook. It's going by the playbook of like, he seems nice, but we know he's not going to be nice because we know what movies are.
Right.
And then, it escalates. Right. And I'm like, okay, it's a horror movie. It's making me nervous, but I kind of hate it for making me nervous because I feel it's rather generic at this point. But as soon as it started to turn and it was like, oh, Jason Bateman's the bad guy, it got so much more interesting to me.
I think this movie, I think the script for this film, the writing in general, the casting of everyone except Bateman is fucking spectacular.
The performances and the direction are both very good.
I saw it like you, John, because when I saw it, I was like, oh, when it flipped, just like you said, I said, oh,
and it wasn't a sudden flip. It was
like a gradual thing.
Although you saw
there is a sudden flip. The sudden flip is when she's walking with his sister after the
after the party,
after the baby shower, and she starts explaining what happened. And then you go from there to the scene with her and the chiropractor.
Well, that's the first brick, and you add to the bricks.
Yeah. When that scene with them in the kitchen where he's
now in that other world. Yeah.
I thought the thing that turned it was actually I was seeing Jason Bateman talking about that other character and saying, we called him Weirdo in high school, and he
Gordo the Weirdo
and wrote it on the whiteboard.
Well, so this is
that's incremental.
Now,
it's incremental. John's right.
Pieces of his bullies.
Well, but you see, but when they're having that conversation, he's like, you know what, Robin? He's a fucking loot. Like it's the first time where you see him sort of like, and he's like, can't be responsible for someone's fucking life. And it's before everything starts to really come out.
And then when they're at the dinner party and he goes off and does the little pantomime with his finger through his trouser zipper and then you're like, oh, this guy's gross.
And she says that.
She does.
But this is the thing, like, okay, so I was thinking about this a lot today. The first moment where you see it shift is when they start talking about the weirdo Gordo thing, and she says, oh, kids can be so cruel.
And he says kids are honest.
And he says kids are honest.
Yes.
As he's writing weirdo on the whiteboard. I think if they had cast somebody who's better suited for this role, that would have given me chills.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
I think he nailed it.
It literally made me go, oh, you're the douchebag. Like that was literally it never gave me a moment to look at Bateman's character and be like, but once you can destroy someone's life.
Well, again, the opposite side of the coin, where I think that Edgerton's miscast in this, because I think he's better looking than Jason Bateman. I think that
The goatee, come on.
The thing is, wait, you get this situation.
Also, they gave him brown contacts.
Is he going to try to like?
And he died. And he dyed his hair.
His hair brown,
like
lighter
color.
brown.
But
it's red,
but
guys.
You don't know in the
It's like
first
red.
No, it's specifically red brown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't know in the first half of this film he's trying to screw the wife or Jason Bateman, because he's this weird attachment thing going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the scene behind Chris
What about
right now.
Bob?
Pretty much
right now is so realistic. You know, you're running to someone, and it's just like even Jason Bateman had a shitty attitude even in that exchange. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You mean in the when they first meet up in the store
behind Chris there,
and you know what? When you watch, that's when I was sort of like, it's like, oh, this is pretty good, because I think the acting in that scene, which is such a mundane kind of a scene,
but they really did it well. Yeah,
it's perfect.
Yeah,
and it's so subtle.
And let's not forget, you know, I think one of the best actresses working.
Rebecca Hall.
Last like 10 years.
Oh, she's
Rebecca
so great.
Hall.
She's so good.
I thought her character was kind of resistible. She's just kind of this weird, materialistic kind of like.
No,
I don't
see her as
just kind of a normal bougie housewife who just wants everything.
She has a substance abuse.
She is, but she's not fixated. She's not fixated on it.
All right.
No.
She's not fixated on stuff.
No, she's fixated on. She's the one that calls him out, dude.
At the end of the film, the thing is, part of this film is watching her progression.
Scott's fixated on the class war.
No, I'm not. No, this isn't a class war thing. It's her going along with the whole, like, oh, we're great. There's beautiful mid-mod house in Sherman Oaks. It's going to be fantastic. Going to have a kid, family, whole 9 yards. At the end, she's slowly discovering her husband's a bully and an asshole.
Right.
And so her arc is fascinating.
It is great. But she also has her own agency. She has her own past. She's a druggie. And they've had problems in the past.
Not only that, she's a really good designer. She's she's running this agency over the internet at a time when people
she's a good person. Right. She's just had some bad times. Like she's had some.
But like
when he confronts her about the pills, like that's legit. Like she
I got to make a point here.
But why? Okay, go ahead, John.
Oh, the scene you just said, fantastic scene, Tad. So you mean the scene where the pills?
Yeah.
The reason that's so good is mechanically in the story, it covers over the fact that she passed out. So that you're not going, why'd she pass out? Why'd she pass out?
Yeah.
Because you know she had this issue with pills.
And then when he's carrying the Gatorade bottle down the hall in the video, again, I think the script for this movie is fucking terrific.
Admittedly, that whole thing with like who's daddy is so wonderfully fucked up. It is
terrific. It's like a really good version of a story we've seen a lot of, and like I said, it's got horror movie playbook elements in it. It's got jump scares. Oh, the dog comes back. We're going to turn that into a jump scare.
Version. It's the smart version.
It's a smart version.
And I've seen it so many times. I jumped when that dog came back on this.
Fuck yes, I jumped multiple times.
So high.
Bojangles, you mean?
Like this movie way more than me. Whose kid is that?
There's an alternate ending where he demonstrates that he didn't actually do it.
Yeah, it's probably Bateman's, but
it's
but just to fuck with him,
I have
because
no
that's
idea
what he needed.
I think
that's the revenge.
It's like Gordo is a weirdo, but he didn't do that.
Okay, what's the movie past the?
I didn't love that.
What's the movie past the credits? What happens?
Chris is like, I didn't love that.
What happens after the credits is she goes and reestablishes her
life. She lives with her sister.
She leaves.
She divorces him.
No, she lives with the next door neighbors for a while.
Oh, Allison told me.
And maybe gets together. Maybe gets together with Gordo. We don't know.
No,
I don't think so. That's too weird.
No, the end of the film. There's a lingering scene where he's looking out over the thing. It's like it's not out. No,
he walks away and down the hallway.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Either way, Justin Bateman's out. That's the thing.
He's out.
Well, no, he's going to work for the Trump administration.
So what?
Oh my God!
Well, he's fired from his job.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God!
He's out with the wife,
and he doesn't know whose kid he.
Yeah, he's tormented for the rest of his life.
And all
It's
the
great.
and all the
That's right.
and all the Coy are dead. So what the hell, right?
And all the Coy are
Secretary of
dead.
Labor,
For sure.
but the koi are dead because nobody prepped that pond for the koi, so they died. They died of
Natural
Suffocation.
Of shock.
They died. They died of
Shock or some bullshit.
the acidity in the.
But
the
they
koi
also did a
pond
good
being
job
too
with
high.
they did a good job with the set design and the color grade here, where
Yeah.
you always knew it's from him with that dark red bow.
Yeah.
There's some good
Oh,
visual
some good.
themes.
The
The
colors.
red envelopes.
But and
The
Yeah,
red
the red
thing is
envelopes.
great.
Yeah.
and then you see her get the present at the baby shower, and they flip it where it's
They do because
not-
it's actually from her friend. But
Right.
it
Yeah.
looks like it's from
Right.
him.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the part that probably, Chris, drove us both up the wall, was that paranoia that there's so many scenes of her alone in the house where she's just like, what was that? She heard
Oh,
sound and it's nothing.
Yeah.
And then she
Yeah.
gets that present. She's having a nice time with her friends at the baby shower, and it's like, oh, I wonder if this is from
Him.
Gordo.
Also, one thing about the house.
That's messed
itself,
up, man.
The house
It gets
itself is like
in your head.
it's a mid-century modern house, and she's alone a lot in it. One thing about mid-mods is that they're like it's glass,
A lot of glass.
all glass,
glass.
so you feel really open and exposed.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about the place. And,
One of
there's the
my
colors,
favorite-
the green and the orange and the beams like that. It feels like you're kind of living in a prison in some ways.
One of my favorite movie scenes in any movie ever is where De Niro goes after William Fichtner in Heat, because it's basically the same house.
Yes, it
And
is
it's
pretty much.
just like, you have no protection up here in
No.
your mansion on the hill.
In your
for
house
of
someone
glass.
like
That is
me.
correct.
Yeah, you got floor to ceiling windows. You can see everything goes on in there, basically. Yeah.
I just so this is a question that I had, but I wanted to preface it with a scenario, which is, so how does this all come about, it like mechanically in the story? And my feeling is what actually happened is Joel Edgerton never thought he was going to see this guy again.
True.
Like, he got sent to military school.
For sure.
Yeah.
He finished his life. He's working with this like leasing company for the cars or whatever.
Yep.
And I think he's walking through
And he's doing
that-
quiz shows and
He's doing
shitty
trivia
magician-
night
Trivia
on
night.
Thursdays at the
Trivia
bar.
night,
Yeah.
And I
yeah.
think he's walking through that mall, and he sees him, recognizes him through the window.
immediately it's like hot flash. It's like
Well,
tunnel vision. That's the guy that ruined my fucking life.
right.
Yeah.
It's hot flash tunnel vision. It's the guy who ruined my life. But I think he's been planning this in his mind
Yeah.
in the quiet
Like
time
obsessively.
when
Yeah.
you can't sleep.
It's
For
like,
the
if I
last
ever see him
20
again, it's going
right.
to be this.
This
and
is what
and
I'm
this
gonna
and
do.
this and
Yeah.
this and
Right.
this.
Yeah.
So I think what happened is he got triggered by that moment of seeing him, and he flashed back to all the revenge
Uh-huh.
fantasies he'd had over the last 20 years and decided to just start implementing them.
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
He's grown up. He
probably.
can actually pull a lot of shit off. He
I
really
don't
did.
think that's a bad read at
No,
all.
it's not
And I
really
think
not.
that, I mean, probably he had to pivot and adjust certain things, but yeah.
Here's
I mean,
this motherfucker.
the scene
Here's
where
his beautiful wife.
the scene
Right.
behind Chris where he invites him over to the house that is not his. We don't know that.
That was strange, man.
That fucking scene it's every scene in this movie is great. It just it's like good scene followed by good scene.
But again, talking about the horror movie playbook, didn't you know that when he went back to the house the next time and knocked on the door, that fucking it wasn't even
Yes.
going to be him there?
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
of course you did.
We've seen that,
but it's still
you know?
satisfying to see it and
I thought at least be the ex-wife.
but
or
they
something
still
like that.
smartly written.
But then he has
the
an
script is so good because
explanation.
yes,
He has
because
an
he drove for that
explanation for
guy.
it.
Yeah,
he
there's a
went to
reason.
the
No,
look for
but
that
not
guy.
only that, he's like, I didn't want you to see where I actually lived. Because
That's
it's
right. I
nowhere
love
near
that
as
too. He's
nice
like,
as
I would be
where-
embarrassed.
Right.
It's probably an
right.
apartment in like Sherman Oaks or like Encino or something like that. And it's like, I know this is all shot in the North Valley. Might I add, you can see it.
No,
pretty-
there's an episode of The Shield taking place next to where he lives.
pretty much,
Like,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay,
I don't.
Chris,
I didn't enjoy watch this movie, but I will not dunk on it for being well made. It's well made.
Chris, you used to.
I did not
What happened to you?
enjoy it.
You used
I
to
did
have
not
balls,
enjoy,
my
like-
friend. Balls.
I did not enjoy one fucking second of this movie. But I
You
know
used to
it's
watch
well
the
made.
Snowtown murders, and we would talk about it. What happened to you?
Chris, I will say that I had to watch this in increments because I would get stressed out and have to turn it off and walk
Yeah,
away.
I wanted to leave the room so many goddamn times the first hour.
And it was the first half.
Oh, I was watching this like I was watching Warrior. I was like,
well,
give me more.
Honestly,
Let's keep going.
I never tap out of these things, and I'm like, man, I don't know that I can do this. And then it's like, okay, so it's starting to tweak, cool. But by the time you get to the last reel, we're like, did he rape her? Did he not rape her? I don't know. The whole thing made me feel gross.
I mean,
also the first time I saw it,
Go
the monkey mask in his video was creepy as fuck, dude.
It was creepy as fuck.
When he finally brings it up to his face.
Monkeys are creepy.
Like, yeah. So many.
Now, mind you,
many things in this movie are really good because you can flash back in the film to where you learned that.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
that's just good screenwriting, man.
I saw a comment. I think it was on Reddit or something when I was looking stuff up about this, and somebody was like, "Well, how the fuck does he know where they live?" Because he heard him.
In the fucking
clerk.
That's right.
To deliver the fucking couch.
Lived.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like,
now, I know
there's not a hole. There's not a hole in the script.
No, and she tells him that Jason Bateman has a phobia of monkeys.
It's all there.
He tells him in the first time he comes over, dude.
Right.
Now, mind you,
which is Chad. That's him pivoting.
Yeah,
that's him saying, "Okay,
this is what
new
comes
information. Gonna run with that." Now.
I've never watched this film before. I started watching it. It's on the Blumhouse thing in front. Now, mostly I'm waiting. Most of the film, I'm waiting for someone to cut someone's head off with a rusty saw.
Yeah, same here.
And it never happened. So
you'd be surprised that Blum has done some dramas now.
Your head off with a rusty
saw.
Probably did. That's actually what the movie did.
You know, Jason Blum did Get Out. He's got a lot of prestige pictures. Actually,
he does. He actually does.
Also agree with Chris that this is the scariest kind of horror because there's no exorcisms. There's no
boogeyman.
There's no. It's just people.
Motivated individuals.
Shitty.
All you have is damaged individuals trying to interfere with your wild lifestyle.
You've an autistic person who you fuck
That's
with
the scariest thing of all.
Okay, that's the class thing. I'm sorry.
but no, it's not feeling safe in your own house. That's what it is.
Not wrong either.
But who brought up earlier when Jason Bateman does the finger dick thing? It's so
gross.
It's so gross, and that's just his character.
And that's what she says, and I think that's why that's the recording that he gave back to him.
Yeah,
is
at the
to
end.
make him
hear himself.
Hear himself, but also hear her be like, no, because you're disgusting.
Yeah.
Because she's not
talking
about him in that moment.
I'm telling
she's
you,
talking about her husband.
Yeah.
I love that. Wait, that whole package with the bassinet and the 1, 2, 3 thing was fucking great.
And one
if
is
you
the
ever
key
want to
to your house.
The house is great.
If you ever want to feel shit, feel like shit about yourself. A moment that you weren't proud of how you acted, if that was recorded and played back for you,
oh god,
that is like everyone's personal nightmare.
Thank
God we all grew up before the internet.
Exactly, I was going to say, Tad, and that's me. That's why I don't watch this show because it's pretty much me every week.
When you get famous, this show's gonna haunt your ass. Don't you worry about it.
I'm gonna be canceled in 2 fucking seconds.
I know, but
well-made movie. I never want to see it again.
Okay then.
I liked it very much. It was just really good and fairly bloodless and just
it's not a horror movie. It's a thriller.
We've been talking about the mechanics thing the entire thing.
It's entirely bloodless.
This script is airtight,
which is great.
There's not a hole in this.
It's almost English in terms of the way
this script should be taught in film school. As
yes.
Because it's like the monkey thing. Everything is there for a reason. Everything is paid off or set up.
You could do a whole.
It's paid off. It's set up perfectly.
Springboard.
You can do it.
Out of this.
No, you can do like the establishment stuff and the.
You know what this comes from? It comes from rewriting. Yes. You don't get this kind of shit in the first draft. You go through and you go, and you realize what you did in the third act.
A ton of notes.
This is Edgerton walking himself in a hotel for a week.
I mean, you can sort of write the payoff first and then realize, I can set this up.
How do I get there?
He filmed 2 weeks of this movie without himself in it and then filmed all his scenes in the last week.
That makes sense.
That's great.